Hello, welcome back for Unit 7 of our American History 1 course here at Waldorf University. As we reach the end, I just want to make sure we're putting ourselves in good positions to be successful. I'm happy to take a look at any late work, especially as it pertains to like essays and assessments that you might be able to put together here to help raise your grade. We'll kind of work through that stuff, reach out if you have different questions, that kind of stuff. This week in Unit 7, we turn our focus to the American Civil War. And as we take a look at this, we've got two things to do. First, we're still going to have our discussion board due Saturday, Tuesday, and we're again going to look at a primary source there. And then we have the Unit 7 essay, which I think will give us a good chance to look at some of the different social, cultural, political, and economic trends leading us towards our country's most significant internal conflict. So over on the discussion board, you're going to take a look at President Abraham Lincoln's House Divided speech from 1858. This is 2 years before Lincoln is going to be elected President of the United States in the election of 1860. And Lincoln is speaking to this broader audience as he begins his kind of run for the White House, which will ultimately culminate in him becoming President of the United States. And so the first thing you got to do is head on over to the hyperlink there in the discussion boards to the U.S. Department of Interior National Park Service and take a look at the speech itself. When we think about analyzing primary sources like this, it's critical to try to put yourself in the time period, and that's exactly what you're going to try to do when you construct your response. So you're going to place yourself in 1858 and envision that you have a chance to hear Lincoln's speech, or maybe just read the transcript of the speech in a newspaper or something. Then what do you believe are the most important elements of the speech? What stands out to you and why? And do you believe those elements of speech can be successfully accomplished? Lincoln's identifying a bunch of goals, but I want you to see what goals for the country as he kind of lays out his platform for the presidency you think are accomplishable. And then when you go to respond to a classmate, consider how the central construct to quote from the speech, "a house divided itself cannot stand," end quote, could be applicable in a variety of ways to today's divisive society. How can we use Lincoln's lessons and example to maybe unify our society? What are some of his ideas that stand out to you in the current moment as you move back to the present? The other thing you got to do is work on the Unit 7 essay. We're going to look at a variety of events leading up to the American Civil War. We have a lot of different things tying together between 1850 and 1860 that all swirl and contribute to the rising tensions leading up to the secession of southern states and the formation of the Confederate States of America. And so after you get through the Unit 7 study guide in Chapter 14, work on an essay to answer the prompt, which I want you to select one of the events from the list below. They're all taking place starting in 1850 with the Compromise of 1850, which is coming out of tensions about expanding slavery west into newly acquired territory in the aftermath of the Mexican-American War. And the Kansas-Nebraska Act is also maybe related to that as well, which is another event you could choose. You could look at the presidential election of 1856. You could look at the Dred Scott versus Sanford United States Supreme Court decision in 1857, which is going to be incredibly controversial then, and I think even now is looked back at with kind of, at least in my professional opinion, great sadness. You could look at the Lincoln-Douglas debates. You could look at John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry. You could look at the presidential election of 1860. I want you to focus on one of those things. What I want you to do is initially provide an overview of the event, describe how it served as a catalyst for the American Civil War. How did the event itself directly contribute to the rising tensions between different factions in the United States? Because this is an academic research paper, don't pull in your personal opinions. I don't want to hear "in my opinion." I think that's a cop-out, especially in controversial topics like the American Civil War, where people start to go, well, you can't blame me for my opinion. I want you to do quality research and pull that in to support that. So stay focused on that research. Use your in-text citations and your reference list. Make sure that you're putting at least 2 resources from the Waldorf database in there. The best thing you can do as we shift from kind of this mindset of, in my opinion, to providing actual quality analysis is be bringing in that quality research to strengthen your credibility, as we've talked about throughout the course. Make sure that you're citing those, like be thinking about who's writing them, why you should listen to that person, how that builds your credibility, and then make sure you're building out to at least 2 pages. There's a variety of other recommendations for success there that provide a little bit extra support, and then make sure that you're putting your best foot forward there, put the time into it, make sure you're putting together a quality essay. You also can do the end of course survey this week. It's in the Unit 7 if you click on there. I always appreciate feedback on how these courses are running for you. As the departmental chair for history, geography, and political science here at Waldorf, I think any feedback in any of your online courses is incredibly valuable, seeing how things can work better for you, the student, as we continue to create new courses, evaluate our current courses, and do revisions and all that stuff. So if you have a few minutes, make sure you're knocking that out. I appreciate the hard work you've put in the course so far, and I look forward to the great things you're going to do this week. Good luck!